The day started so early because cooking for 70 people isn't something you would just rush. You can imagine having 15 meals on the menu. I mean, a lot of work has to go in. I was done with my fish. I marinated them and kept it to cool down right in my freezer. Then I proceeded in sourcing for my small chops. We have about 6 small chops on the menu: spring roll, samosas, fish pie, fish roll, puff and gizzard and steak. The ingredients all sorted. One of the things you should consider when cooking for many is to have a list of what comes in next, and we'll play while working. Because the journey is too far to entertain any sort of grumpiness. Having a list in its ascending order, know what to tackle next after this, will help you go a long way and will make your work more effective and efficient. So you don't see yourself groping around in the kitchen like you don't know what you're doing, but in the actual sense, confusion is really dealing with you, and if you don't want that, make your plans properly. That's why you can never catch me unprepared. I love what I'm doing. Once I was done with the fish roll and pie, I headed up to my spring roll, samosas and froze them. Then the next day I started off with the puff, frying my samosas and the rest of the small chops. Once that was sorted, then I proceeded with the cooking proper. Hobby made me blush through it because he was my hype man behind the camera, and that was motivation I needed at this moment. He was like, baby, I got you, you can do this. My gizzard was thoroughly washed with vinegar and salt before I poured in the broth and added all the ingredients I'll use in cooking it. I boiled it together with the liver to save energy. Once that was done, I added extra water just so it can cook properly. When it was ready, I diced that off camera, fried the liver, and also proceeded with frying the gizzard. And that was all. I also have 3 packs of big prawns for the fried rice. One thing you should know with my cooking is I don't compromise when it comes to seasoning of meals. I do that with so much intentionality. And of course, you should know that no boring meals with Wendy. I make real tasty meals, no capping. Time to roast my tomatoes. Oh, did I tell you that we have jollof rice to make? A cooler of chicken, cooler of fish, 2 coolers of fried rice and jollof rice, a tray of fried plantain, peppered sauce, 2 trays of vegetable salad, and 1 tray of fruit salad. And I was done with blending the ingredients for marinating my chicken, so I distributed that evenly among them and marinated, then set aside so they can do their thing. My pepper sauce is ready at this point, and my roasted tomatoes is ready to be blended. From the look of things, already you can tell how tasty the sauce will turn out because it was well seasoned. I started frying that down and also headed on to frying my plantain while I cook my sauce alongside with it. Once the oil started floating on top, I added my preferred seasoning and my signature spices. The aroma at this point was just everywhere. I washed my rice and toasted that right in the sauce before adding my meat stock, then tested and adjusted with what wasn't good enough and allowed them to cook on medium-low heat. I was done with the gizzard, and my fish at this point was calling my name. It was ready for another baptismal journey. My rice, well cooked, and I fluffed that out. Did you see how the grain turned out? Everything was just so on point. That's why you don't need to snooze on quality grains. It matters a whole lot. My salad dressing was ready. I made about 3 buckets and then finally proceeded with toasting the jollof rice. If you're adding veggies to your jollof rice, know that you don't need to overcook it because the heat from those coolers is pretty much active. You don't need a soggy vegetable, okay? I proceeded with my fried rice once my jollof was completely sorted. At this point, the aroma in my kitchen was just bursting everywhere. Trust me, your meal will never go wrong if they're in the right hands. I couldn't film everything we prepared, but here, this is a glimpse of what we have ready. And if you've watched up to this point, you are my real G. Mwah.